followed by bracket, fine, and then you open the left parenthesis. Okay, there will be some instructions, fine, there will be some instructions, write them. Okay, these instructions will be performing some task. Okay, they provide some meaning, and finally you close the parenthesis. So this is how a function looks like. This is the main function. You can have any other functions also in your program. As we proceed, okay, as we proceed gradually, you will understand, you will get your concepts more clear. But for the time being, we will be making use of only the main function. Okay, we will be making use of other functions later, not now. So here we will be looking at only the main function in our programs. So main function is always written in lowercase, followed by the bracket, okay, then followed by parenthesis. Okay, you open the parenthesis. Inside the parenthesis there will be some instructions written, and this entire part is called the body of the function. Okay, this is called the body of the function, or the entire thing is called the function definition. That means you have, this is the declaration and this is the definition. Okay, declaration means you have declared a function, giving its name, okay, and inside which you have defined what your function will perform. So this is your main function, so you have declared a main function, but what is your main function supposed to do, that you will have to write inside. Here what are we doing? We are simply taking a variable a whose value is 10, it is an integer number 10, and then we are simply printing it. That means we are simply displaying it. I will get into all this a bit later. So what I'm doing inside is I'm simply taking a variable a which contains 10, and I am to display that particular value on the output screen. That is what I have done. Okay, so whenever you will be writing instructions in your inside the function, okay, inside the body of the function, that is called the function definition. The entire part, okay, starting from this to this entire thing is called function definition. Whenever you include the body of the function, and what, which is the body, this is the body, whatever you write inside the braces, fine, parenthesis. So that is all about the main function. So always remember, program execution in C always begins from main and it ends at main. So there can be, the program can be of, you know, any number of instructions. It can be very much longer, it can be shorter. Okay, it depends on the programmer, it depends on the problem that he's trying to solve. But however, if you are to execute, if you are to run your program, it will always start from this point. Okay, this is the start point, and after executing all the statements, ultimately it will come and end here only. Okay, so always remember the main use of the main function. What is this main function and why do we need it? Are you clear with the main function? Bujhi paisa ne?
Yes, ma'am.
Rest, I have given you many examples.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, fine. Now we will talk about the statements that we have written inside the main function. Okay, so as I said, what is the job of a function? The job of a function is to perform some task. Okay, and here we are only using the main function, we are not using any other function, and it is compulsory that we have a main function in our program, otherwise the program will never execute. Okay, so we have a main function here. This is called the return type. Okay, int, we have learned this, we have learned int to be a data type. Yes, but in case of functions, just as we use data types with variables, we also use data types with functions. Okay, just as you use, this is a variable a, and with a what are you using? It is a data type int a. Which, what does this mean? You understand this by now. What does this mean? A is a variable, okay, of type integer. So what does this mean? That a will be assigned a 4-byte memory block. Okay, why 4-byte? Because int is of size 4. So a will be assigned a 4-byte memory block. And what will that 4-byte block contain? It will contain the value 10. Okay, so here along with variable declaration, I have also done the variable initialization. Okay, variable declaration is int a, and if I write int a equal to 10, this entire thing is called variable initialization. That means along with declaring the variable, I have also assigned a value to the variable. So this entire thing is called variable initialization. So you know this. So you know how to use data types with variables and what they, you know, what's the meaning for that. Just like in case of variables, in functions also we make use of data types. Okay, first we mentioned the data type, followed by the function name. Here our function, we have only one function in our program, which is the main function. Okay, and you have seen how we write a main function. But however, in functions, whenever you use the data type is not called the data type, it is called return type. Okay, we called the data type in case of functions as return type. Why return type? That I will explain you. Okay, see, just as I said, the operating system will be calling this main function. Yes, then the program execution will begin. Then you will get inside. Okay, the control will get inside, and you will start executing your instructions one by one. Okay, whatever instructions have been written, accordingly the task will be performed. Finally, if you see the last statement that you have here, return 0. What is this? See, just as I gave you the example of your batch where I will be giving you some project work. Okay, so if I am assigning some project work to you, I am the operating system, the CR is the main function. I have called the CR and I have asked him or her to assign you the work. Okay, so you will be performing the work now. So you are all the instructions inside the program, you all are executing. Now once you all are done, okay, what are you supposed to do? You are supposed to return me the work, yes or no? If I have given you some work to do, you will not simply just complete it and sit down. You are to give it back to me, because you have to return it to me. I will check it then, right? So once you are done with your work, you will be returning your work to me. Okay, not directly via the main function, via the CR. Okay, so you will return the work, you will hand over your individual works to the CR, and the CR will finally inform me. Okay, so that is what this concept is. So if the operating system is calling this main function, the main function will perform some task. Okay, there will be instructions inside, it will perform task. Finally, once the task is done, okay, then the main function will be handing over the work to the operating system via a return statement. Okay, so what does this mean? Return is a keyword. Remember that return is a keyword. You cannot use any other words here apart from return. Okay, and you know what keywords are? These are those words which have got some predefined meaning. Okay, they have some predefined meaning. They already have some meaning which is defined inside the compiler. Okay, and you cannot use it anywhere else. You have to use it only where it fits the best, like wherever it should be used. You cannot just use it elsewhere. Okay, so always remember that in a function, the last statement is always the return statement. Okay, and how do we write a return statement? Like this: return followed by a value. Okay, return followed by a value or a variable. Here we are returning a value 0. Return 0 means after this entire program is finished executing, okay, the main function will return a value 0. 0 means this program that I executed has been successfully terminated. Okay, whenever your program will be successfully executed and terminated, it is represented using the value 0. Okay, otherwise if you have any other non-zero number, it means there were problems while executing the program. So if you are returning a value 0 from your program, it means that you are informing the operating system that, okay, as you called me, I executed the program, now I'm returning a 0 to you. It indicates that. So once the value 0 is received by the OS, so OS will get this value 0. So once this 0 returns back to the OS will understand that, okay, so the program was successfully terminated. Okay, and since here we are returning 0, and what is this 0? 0 is of what data type? 0 is an integer. Yes or no? 0 is integer. That is why, because we are returning integer value from this main function, that is why we have int as the return type here. So remember that the return type, okay, just remember the words, do not mix up the words. We call data types in case of variables, and in case of methods or functions. Okay, functions or methods, these two names can be used interchangeably. Fine. In case of functions, we call them as return type. Why return type? because it return type means the type of data that the function will be returning. Okay, so that is why it is called return type. Since this main function is returning a value 0, okay, the main function always returns a 0 or a non-zero number. It does not return any other value. That also you have to remember. Okay, the main function, because the main function only communicates with the operating system, so the main function has to inform the operating system whether the program was successfully terminated or not. If yes, it will return a 0. If no, it will return some other number, non-zero number. Okay, so uh, the main function always returns, okay, it always returns a value 0, it always returns an integer, okay, an integer value. And that is why the return type that you have to mention must, it must match this value. Okay, it's an integer, that is why your return type should also be int. Is this part clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Rest.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm explaining the structure of C programming part by part slowly so that you understand better. Have you understood the main function? Have you understood the concept of functions, why the operating system calls the main function, and how the program will execute and finally return the result back to the back to the operating system? Then why do we use return types? What is the purpose of the return 0 statement? Have you understood all this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Now you see, so since we are done with the,
Ma'am.
yeah,
Ma'am.
this statement int a equal to 10. It is buji paisa? It is done?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay.
So next, what we are doing is, see, next this statement that I have written, printf, okay, printf, bracket, inside bracket we have %d inside double quotes followed by a comma followed by the variable a. So what does this mean? First, let me tell you the meaning of this statement. Printf means we are simply trying to display, okay, print means we are displaying, okay, or we are outputting. So we are displaying the value that is stored in A on the monitor. Okay, so you are simply in this statement, what are you doing? You are simply storing the value 10 inside A, and now you are simply displaying that value. Okay, you are displaying that value on the output screen. That is what you are doing using this statement. Now this statement, in this statement, the various parts have got separate meanings. Okay, first we will talk about the printf. So as I said, if you remember, I said that functions are always written, okay, this way. That means it has got a name in lowercase followed by what? Braces. Yes, followed by braces. So this is how we write a function. Now if you look at this, printf followed by braces, inside we have written something, but ignore that part. Okay, whatever is written inside the bracket, just ignore that. But otherwise, if you see, what is this? It's a name, printf followed by a bracket. So as I said, functions are written this way. So printf is also a function. First, understand that printf is also a function because it looks somewhat like the main function. Just that inside the bracket, we are writing some portions. Yes, something inside the bracket. Fine. Otherwise, the printf is a function. Now, question is, if printf is a function, fine. If printf is a function, then why does it not contain the body like this? Because the main is a function, the main has got a body, yes, which is written inside the parenthesis. Then why is the body of the printf statement missing? Where is the body of the printf statement? So basically your printf function should also look like this. Yes or no? Because I said it is a function. Okay, and functions have a proper structure like this. Okay, functions always have a structure like this. But here we do not have the body. We do not have this part for printf. We are having only this, the first statement, inside which we have written certain things. Okay, why is it so? Now this is very important. Please understand that in C, okay, there are some functions which are already defined, just like keywords. I said already, you have various identifiers Yes, identifiers means you can use different variables, you can use different function names, okay, as per you, as just as you want to. You have used variables in, yes, you have made use of variables, you know what a variable is, and for variable you can use any name. Okay, but what is a keyword? Keyword is not a variable. Keyword is not an identifier. How is it different from an identifier? Because identifiers can be any name that the user wishes to use. But keywords are those words which are reserved for specific task. They have a specific meaning. Okay, and they can be used only when in the proper place. Okay, so just like keywords, we also have some functions in C, okay, which have got, which perform some specific task. They are meant to perform some specific task only, and you have to use them only for that task. These functions are called the library functions or the built-in functions. Okay, these functions are called the library functions or built-in functions. So printf is one such of a function, built-in function. So what are built-in function? These are those functions which are already defined in the C compiler, in the library. Okay, in the C library, just as you have library in your university. Yes, you have books over there. What do you have to do? Simply walk into the library, go to the appropriate shelf, collect the book, read it, keep it there, come back. So everything is already arranged for you. The only thing is you have to simply go there, get it from there, use it, keep it, and come back. Yes. So likewise, there are also some functions, okay, in C which are already defined. Okay, you don't have to write the body on your own. You don't have to write it. They are already defined. So what is the purpose of the printf function? It will simply display. Okay, it will simply display whatever is written inside it. Okay, whatever is written inside the printf function, it will simply display that part. Now how will the printf statement, how will the compiler know the printf statement or the printf function? Printf function is used to display the output on the monitor screen. Okay, that is the definition. But how will the compiler know? Because it is the compiler who will be compiling the instructions one by one and executing them. Yes. Now how will the compiler understand that printf is used only for displaying the output? Why can't printf be used for any other purpose? Yes, that is because the printf function is already defined in the library. Okay, it has the body. Here we don't have the body because we don't have to write the body, just as in case of main function we have a body here. Yes or no? But in printf we don't have a body. It's a single statement because the body has already been defined somewhere else in some other file. Okay, and those files where the built-in functions, I told these are called built-in or library functions. Printf is one built-in or library function, which means that it is already defined in the library. Okay, it is defined in the library in some file. Okay, so in whichever files these built-in functions are defined, those files are called the header files. So this is what a header file is. Okay, header. So what is a header file and what is a library function? These are related. Okay, if you want to read a book from the library, you have to get in the library and bring that book. It will not be easily available to you. You cannot directly use it. First you have to go to the library with your library card. You have to issue the book. Only after you have been given the book, then you can use it. Okay, so that book is this built-in function. Okay, so to be able to use this library function in your program, okay, you have to include that particular file in your program in which this function is defined. Otherwise the compiler will not recognize what this is. Statements, instructions are always compiled and executed by the compiler. Okay, compiler is not a human. Compiler, you understand what this statement means. The compiler does not understand. So you have to explain the compiler the meaning of every instruction that you write. So if you write this statement this way, the compiler will not understand what it is, because this somewhat looks like a function, correct? But where is the body of the function? Main is also a function, it has got a body. Printf is also a function, but where is the body? So compiler will not understand this. So that is why, to make the compiler understand what this printf is and what is it supposed to do, you have to include, okay, the file where this particular function is defined. Okay, you have to include that file in your source program. Source program means the program that the user has written. So this is your source program, and in your source program you have to include that header file using a statement. Okay, and this is that statement, hash include, give angular brackets inside which you mention the file name followed by the extension, because it's a header file, stdio. This is the header file name. So inside this file you have the printf function, and this file not only contains printf function, there are also some other functions which are defined inside this stdio file. And this file, every file, when you save every file, yes, whenever you save any file, it needs to be saved with an extension, yes, just to define what type of a file it is. So just like we give extension to every file when we save, even in here, because header has, okay, it's a header file, stdio is a header file, so it is saved with .h extension.